Hi, I'm Michael Janich. I'm the Special Projects Coordinator for the Spyderco Knife Company, and I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about the Matriarch II in its latest incarnation. This is a knife that has a really interesting history, a really interesting evolution over the years for Spyderco, and this is kind of the latest expression of it. So let's start back at the beginning. The Spyderco Civilian was a knife that Sal Glesser, the founder of the company, actually developed in response to a request from a federal law enforcement agency. The officers in this agency did a lot of undercover drug work, and in many cases when they were working undercover they couldn't carry firearms. So what they wanted was a knife that they could carry, be able to conceal very well, very flat and slim, but if they needed to use it defensively would cause massive damage with very little skill. They weren't trained knife fighters, they didn't have time to invest in that training, so what they wanted was something that would produce really devastating results. So what Sal came up with was the original Civilian knife. This is actually the current version of that knife. The original ones had aluminum handles with craton inserts. Even this knife has evolved over time and is still an important part of the Spyderco product line. But the most distinctive thing about it is what's called the reverse S blade. It's like a backwards letter S, and what it gives you is belly near the heel of the blade, closest to the handle, and then kind of a hawkbill shape near the point. So it's designed to replicate the function of an animal's claw, where it can puncture with the tip and then draw the material being cut into the lowest spot of the curve. If you happen to make contact closest to the heel, it cuts like a standard edge, pushes that away, and then shoves that into the sweet spot of the edge. One of the people who took great notice of this knife was our South African distributor. There were a lot of sexual assaults that were happening in South Africa. He started teaching self-defense classes for females with this knife, and what he wanted was a more affordable, less expensive alternative to this. So what they came up with was the idea of the first Matriarch. What we did was we took the reverse S profile and put that into a knife that was based on our popular Endura model. The Endura had injection molded fiberglass reinforced nylon handles. And because the injection molded handles were less expensive to produce than the Machine G10, it brought the price down. So that became the original Matriarch model that was introduced and was produced in various incarnations over the years. The latest version of that is the Matriarch II. That combines the handle from our Endura 4 model, fiberglass reinforced nylon, skeletonized stainless steel inserts, and a 4-position clip, tip up, tip down, left or right side carry. To make this even better, the next generation from that was to take that Matriarch II and to add an Emerson opening feature, sometimes also known as a wave feature, to the back of the blade. What this feature does, as the knife clears the pocket, it hooks on the pocket and automatically deploys the blade as the knife is drawn. So it makes the deployment action of the knife that much faster, that much more positive, which is something that you need under stress. To take that a step further, for the folks who are involved in any kind of a tactical situation where light discipline might be an issue, they don't want shiny things that reflect and draw attention. So taking that same knife and then adding a black titanium carbonitride coating to it kind of completes the evolution. Now you've got all the functional aspects that you would have of the original Civilian model and the original Matriarch model, the additional advantages of the high-speed deployment offered by the Emerson opener, and then also a black non-reflective coating. Now, one of the interesting things about the reverse S, again, when we think about that, many people kind of see this and they consider that very similar to a hawkbill design. Again, the biggest difference is that lower belly, if you will, nearest the heel of the edge. So when something makes contact like this, if you have a hawkbill blade, what happens is if you strike bone, if you strike some other type of obstruction, sometimes the blade can hook and stop, and you have to basically retract it. You can't continue your technique from there. What you get with that reverse S, again, is the ability to push cut near the heel of the blade and then have that sweet spot and that clawing action that really accentuates the cutting force near the tip. So it takes the hawkbill, combines it with a standard edge, and it really creates a uniquely functional, very devastating cut. So if you're in a self-defense situation, you need something that you can rely on, something you can trust your life to, check out the Civilian, the Matriarch II, the latest edition of the Matriarch II. Anything in this family will serve you well and help keep you safe.